Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford lead a star-studded cast through a galaxy of adventures in Part 2 of the Ultimate Space Trilogy. The Empire Strikes Back, next.
A network television premiere on NBC.
We intercept your Earth broadcast in the name of the Galactic Empire.
Welcome.
What's up, my beautiful people? This is Deborah Wilson, also known as Seer Junda from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and you are listening to the SSW Network.
Star Wars action figures collection, each sold separately.
He found out that Vader was his father, too.
Millennium Falcon that you put together. Batteries not included.
We pushed you over the edge, Chris.
Come to the dark side. Come to the dark side. We have alcohol.
We're in trouble. Let's get out of here.
I'm an asshole, just so everybody knows.
On my droid. Show me what you got.
It's R5D4 and the Power Droid.
So,
Action figures each sold separately.
And may the Force be with you always.
And pre-orders for all those action figures you saw of Nick, Pete, and myself will be going on pre-order sale February the 37th.
Exactly. And honestly, if I had any complaint to make about that beautiful action figure, is I'm not sure why mine doesn't have this as its accessory. I don't need a blaster.
Well,
pick up in that
I couldn't find any Kenner size alcoholic beverages to
Totally
make an
fair.
accessory for you. Next time.
Next time. Totally fair.
There you go. Well, welcome everyone. This is Force Connect, the only live Friday night Star Wars call-in talk show, and I'm here with my buddy, my bro, Nick Milky. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing excellent, my friend. I am ready for tonight. I'm ready to hang out. It has been, most weeks have been weeks and busy and lifey and all that mess. And then today hit the fast forward button. I went to work and basically everything was on fire for like 7 hours. And so to get done, accomplish the day, and then to get home, spend a little bit of quality time with the fam, and then come out here and spend some more quality time with my weird space fam. I can't think of a better way to end the week. So I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing good, brother. You know, had myself a fantastic sandwich early this week. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to hear
That's
about
right.
that. But
That's
it was
okay.
a fantastic it's a damn good sandwich.
Good sandwich.
So who we got in the chat today? Who's with us? Our brother Jeff.
Brother Jeff, just for everybody keeping score at home.
Brother, yeah.
Brother Jeff was in my very house about 20 minutes ago. He stopped by and we were able to have a drink, bend the elbow for just a minute. So always good to see Jeff in the chat, but we've got a bunch of other folks hanging out here
too. Eric's here. Eric? Welcome, sir. Eric with a C, not Eric Elliott. I know Eric's here too. Don't worry, Zillow, man. I'll get to you. JD, my tallest friend. I think. Yeah, probably my tallest friend.
Totally works.
My man.
Skywalker's Academy, good evening.
Yes, General Kenobi. And Mr.
There he
Zillow
is.
himself.
There he is. Yep. Oh, wait, we've got another one. Pre-ordering his figures. Angry Tasty Cakes in the house.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Moses in the house.
We got you. What's up, bro?
Everybody. Woodsy's here. Dude, we're ready. Need some good vibes. Rough 2 days as a wrestling fan. That's right. There's some losses in the wrestling world this week.
Yeah. Both Bray Wyatt, which was a shock, and I was so unfortunate. And Terry Funk left us as well. He's a legend in the business, and I hope hope his legend lives on. Great dude.
Larry, glad to see you.
Yeah,
welcome. It's been a lot going on. There are, like we said, there's no secret about this. Ahsoka dropped on Tuesday, and while on this show, we are not going to be talking about it because we do stand in solidarity with our friends in the WGA, with SAG-AFTRA. There's nothing we would love more than to sit and spend an hour on Friday nights picking that show apart. We've been texting each other all week nonstop. But we recognize that the most important thing is that these creators can be treated fairly, rewarded for the hard work they do. There's a lot of arguments, and I hear them, and I'm not saying that they're 100% wrong. There's a lot of those that want to argue that, we should talk about it in order to honor the work that they're doing. But I've talked to some of my friends, Craig Iwinski, who's a friend of the show, 2-time Emmy Award-winning writer on the negotiating committee for the WGA. I've got friends in SAG, and they say they understand that sentiment, but they'd rather be paid more than they would rather have their work honored, because once they're paid and they can take care of their families, then they can make more of that work. So that's the position that we've taken at the SSW Network. We want to talk about it, but we'll wait. It's worth it to wait. It's worth it to stand in solidarity with our friends. So we're going to do that. But we know there's awesome stuff out there. We know it's fun, and we hope everybody's enjoying it. But until we can talk about it, we're going to talk about some other fun stuff, which we're going to get into tonight here in just a little bit. I do want to say, and this is not SAG related or WGA related, but it's video games related. Anybody that plays Fortnite, Ahsoka is going to be showing up in Fortnite here in the next day or two. They just did a big update that dropped today. And as a 45-year-old who's too old to be playing Fortnite but plays it pretty regularly, that's exciting. I get to add Ahsoka to my collection of other Star Wars characters that I play with. So, it's one of those things. But before we jump in tonight, we're going to have our toast in a minute, but I do want to hit some housekeeping. Pete usually handles this, so I'm going to end up doing it incorrectly, but let me see if I can find our happy little image here that we put up. There it is. SSW Network. Where do you find us? Basically, you find us wherever you can hang out on social media, the ones that are falling apart and are running dumpster fire, the ones that are new and people are still trying to figure out, the ones in the middle like Facebook and Instagram. The easiest thing to do is go to the sswnetwork.com. You can find out about our Patreon program, where if you're a patron, you get to watch us have live interviews for Around the Galaxy, like we did a couple weeks ago with Brittany Ann Williams and Daniel Jose Older. You get swag sent to you. We try to do some meetups a couple times a year online, of course. Lots of stuff there. So check that out. The Patreon, facebook.com, social media, pretty much everywhere we are at the SSW Network. And then, of course, I would be remiss, and you can get this through sswnetwork.com or its own page, sswnetworkshop.com. And that is where we put all of the ridiculous T-shirts that we make, the stickers, the dumb ideas that we come up with. I know Pete is still working on Spotchkaholics Anonymous, which we got last week and was a fantastic one.
Yeah.
Lots of things for you to check out. So go to the sswnetwork.com. You can find us. You can find out how to connect with us on our individual social medias as well as the shows that we do. We would love
Who
to
knows?
have you. If you're, yeah, go
Who
ahead.
knows? Maybe those figures will be up there soon.
That's right. You never know. Crazier things have happened. At minimum, we've got to get some good decals going of those stick figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out. Blurry said earlier in the chat, I'm new. If you're new here, that's a great way to check us out, to learn more about the things that we do. Most of all, we're glad all of you are here tonight. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw it to our toast, and then we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to jump into our topic for the night. Chris has got a lot of, got a fun topic for us. I'm excited to get into this, find out how incorrectly I did it. So before we get to that, I'm going to raise my glass tonight to Weird Space Friends. It's an easy toast to go to, but it's a toast that I'm always pleased with. Jeff was actually here earlier wearing his Weird Space Friends t-shirt. But if you don't understand or don't know what is Weird Space Friends is the name that my wife came up with like 2 years ago for all of my internet podcast friends. She was like, are you going to hang out with your Weird Space Friends tonight? Yes, ma'am, I am. And it just it seemed like the perfect, nerd family reunion category for us. So I raise my glass to all of our Weird Space Friends, those of you in the chat, those of you who are listening to us on the replay, and certainly all of our Weird Space Friends who are out right now picketing and working on trying to get treated better and more fairly in the amazing work they do. So cheers and happy Star Wars.
Happy Star Wars.
Delicious.
It gets easier every week. It gets easier.
That's right.
What have you done to me?
What have we done to Chris? Well, speaking of things that we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we are going to jump into our topic. So we will see you in just a minute for more Force Connect.
Oh, parents of Earth. Thank you, Chewbacca. Parents, we've shared some spectacular adventures all over the galaxy, including our narrow escape from the battlefields of the ice planet Hoth. Oh my! Now from Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back comes Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection. A toy universe of heroes, villains, fantastic space vehicles, and faraway galaxies. I was just getting to that. Here's the Rebel transport that holds up to 42 action figures. Astounding. Look, it's AT-AT, all-terrain armored transport. Easy, Chewbacca. And that's a Scout Walker, another favorite of Darth Vader's. That's Slave One with frozen Han Solo. And this is Hoth Wampa, the snow beast with Tauntaun from the ice planet. Remember, parents, there's only one Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection from Kenner.
Give me any gruff for saying AT-AT. I learned at a very early age.
Yep. AT-AT.
It's official.
C-3PO said it. It's got to be AT-AT.
Right. So this week, we're going to be talking about it's kind of like a what if. All right, and follow me on this one, and hopefully when people call in, we get your take on this as well, and your answers on this. I posed a question to Pete and Nick, and unfortunately Pete can't be here tonight. Posed a question to my two Force Connect partners, and I said, being the person that you are right now, this person that you are, what kind of a character would you be in the Star Wars universe? Now, before I go any further, I just want to, and I want answers from everyone else, but I just want to say, in the Star Wars universe, I don't mean like I've got a force-powered jetpack and I've got the Force and I'm a badass Jedi and lightsaber shoot from my fingers. That's not what I'm saying. What kind of a person would you be?
It's who are you, not who do you want to be?
Who are you? Yeah. Who are you? What's your profession? Where are you from?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a family? All that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So as you said this to me earlier this week, and as I spent some time thinking about it, it's almost like and I've never played a tabletop role-playing game, but I'm assuming this is kind of the similar vibe to if you're creating a character for a tabletop role-playing game. Am I off base on thinking of it that way?
No.
Okay.
No. You're on point. But just like it's just if me now, Chris Ryan's now, we're projected into that universe, what would I be doing? I guess I wouldn't be a big fan of Star Wars because it's you know,
You'd just be a fan of life. You know,
you're like, oh, war again in the stars. I'm a peace-loving person. Yeah. So so Nick, I will start this one, and then mine is pretty simple. It's pretty simple, based on the person that I am and what I do for a living. What I'm hoping to do later on. I've always said that the best locale, and this is not because I do the voice from time to time. I would definitely retire. I would live and I just stay there for life on Cloud City. I am there's no other place besides like maybe having another residence in on Coruscant. You know, I'm not a nature person. So I definitely wouldn't be living in Lothal. But I would be on Cloud City. I mean, that's just first of all, the air conditioning is great up there. But just the locale, just the look of that place, that would be where I'd want to live. And as a profession, I think I'd have my own store. I have my own shop. And maybe a string of shops, like, all over Galaxy. There's some on Coruscant, that sort of thing. I'd sell all kinds of things, and then I'd have like a special section in the back for the Baron Administrator, depending on what era I'm in. He'd have his own little cape section there. I don't know if I would be. I mean, I'm not married right now, so I guess I'd be stagnant. But yeah, I think that's what I'd be doing. And like I said, this is not like I'm a badass Jedi. I would definitely be force sensitive. I would not be, of course, like, leaning towards the Jedi or the Sith or any other group, because I'm not a, like a religious person. So I wouldn't, do all that kind of stuff. But I would definitely be using the force. It'd be, wouldn't be the dark side, wouldn't be the light side, it'd be my side of the force. I would be like grabbing stuff off the top shelf because I'm short. Just boom, like that's what I'm using it for. Just using stuff for me.
Turning those lights out when you get in bed because you don't want to have to get back up.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I like it.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Nick? Like, where are you starting out with yours?
Okay, so here's what I decided to do, because of course, even today I texted you and I'm like, how much prep do I need to do? How do I need to be prepared for this? I have put some thought into it, but what I decided was going to be best is I'm going to kind of work this out in real time with you and with our friends in the chat. So certainly we welcome comments, commentary. Y'all have gotten to know me, certainly Star Wars equivalent to the clapper to
pretty much.
Y'all have gotten to know me, those of you that watch this show, the ones of you that I've had the opportunity to meet in real life, certainly, and talk to. I decided to focus on some key details, like you said, about who I am, what do I do, that kind of thing. And so, obviously, first and foremost, I am married and I'm a dad. I have 4 daughters. So that would certainly have to translate into, my Star Wars existence on some level. I'm a good driver, like a really good driver. Like, I've never had a vehicle accident that was my fault. I've been hit by a couple folks, just people not paying attention, that kind of thing. Consider myself a really good driver. So I feel like I could have some piloting skills. I'm probably the classic example of like a jack of all trades, master of none. Like, I can fix things. I'm handy. I can build things out of wood. Like, I've done a bunch of that kind of stuff. Jeff and I talk quite regularly about how I'm a DIY cheap ass. If I can look up how to do it on YouTube, I'm not paying somebody labor to do it for me. I've put alternators in my cars. I've fixed things in my house, because if there's a video that tells me how, I'm saving money by doing it myself. So I don't know if that means I'm Watto with a junk shop. Of course, I love to enjoy my drinks. Of course, in a perfect world, I'd love to have like a cantina, a cool space bar. That's probably not it, because that's not what I do. But I also work in administration. I work in healthcare administration. And so coupling all of that with you talked about environment and being a Cloud City guy. That totally works. I'm a nature guy. But there's some tricky things in Star Wars nature that we have to pay attention to. Indoor seems like a natural fit because I love forests, but murder bears, like I don't think I'm prepared for murder bears.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah,
I'm not a beach guy. My family are beach people, but I'm not a beach guy. So Scarif, as beautiful as it is, not my jam.
Yeah,
so
well, especially now.
Especially now, less Scarif than there previously was. Also, I think Lothal, Tatooine, that's a little too much close to the beach, but not enough water. So those aren't my jams either. So I think, and it's certainly based on what we saw in Obi-Wan, I think I might be an Alderaan. Alderaan's got those good mountains. I'm a mountains and lake guy. And again, there's not as much Alderaan now. So I need an Alderaan-like planet that could be where I live. And I would probably be, and I've thought about this as well, I would probably be in some form of administration, government administration. I'd have my kids. Maybe it was something that allowed me to travel. But I have in my real life quit a job on principle, actually a career job within the last 4 or 5 years. So I don't think I would be one of those that get sucked into empire stuff. Oh, it's just a job. I just work here. I don't really I think if I started seeing that kind of stuff pop off, I'd be out. So maybe I would see the opportunity to find a way to get plugged in with the rebellion, or at minimum a neutral someplace where, the empire hasn't kicked over. So I don't know entirely what that all means. Maybe I am a flying junk dealer that drags my kids along everywhere I go. My cars are paid for and falling apart, but I keep putting them back together. So that does have a little bit of Millennium Falcon vibe to it. As I've thought about that this week, I start thinking about who are these different aspects of who I am as a person in real life. I love to play music. That becomes more of a hobby, not necessarily a vocation, but maybe I play on the side at, again, I keep coming up with places that aren't here anymore. I was gonna say, maybe I play on the side at Madame Garza's, but not so much with was it the Sanctuary? Was that what it was called? R.I.P.
Yeah.
Pour one out.
Yeah.
This is actually harder than I thought it was going to be.
If for mine, there's only but so much I can do.
I might be those android people from Book of Boba Fett. I'd have mods.
I would totally have mods. I think. When I try to get deeper into it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to put myself out there too much on a live stream. But who knows, man? I'm pretty sure that there would be bad deals that I'm pretty sure I would make, because sometimes I'm a little, as much as I'm a DTA kind of person, I don't trust easily. There's some people who I may be oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. Let's go with that. And then and then I'm in debt to the Pikes or something like that.
And if I can give a real world example to our friends who are watching right now. Met Chris Ryans in person at Star Wars Celebration back in 2022. One of the best times of my life, getting to hang out with you and Pete and Dan and Pete's dad and Jack. Just amazing. I mean, talk about nerd family reunion.
Yeah.
But I will not forget. I will take with me to my grave the day that we were walking around in the merch hall where all the vendors are, and we're 2 days into this thing. And Chris basically has withdrawal twitches, he's scratching. He's like Dave Chappelle, and he looked at me and he looked at me and he said, "I need to go make some bad financial decisions right now. I can't take it anymore." And he disappeared. And I thought, this may be the last time I see him alive or with money in his pocket,
or with money. I spent I just spent so much at Galaxy's Edge. I was just this is what I came here for. This is to spend the money. I'm spending,
and that's exactly what you said. This is what I came here for.
That's what I came here for. And I don't even know where the Galaxy's Edge stuff that I had from then. It's somewhere around here in my room. Who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty sure I would make some bad financial decisions, at the start of the business, and then I would probably be indebted to some Pikes or something like that.
And not to draw too many comparisons to your voice alter ego, but
Oh, I
you may
totally
be the
would.
one living that whole this deal keeps getting worse all the time.
Oh, dude, yeah, it'd be week by week me trying to rob Peter to give to Paul and escape consequences. And I absolutely he would be like, oh, Hondo's coming by,
Yeah.
and I know he's going to have a scheme, and well, I'm going to need the money because I got to keep my business going. So yeah,
Got to keep it going.
yep.
So this is actually, this has turned into something that I don't know that I'm even going to be able to land on a final answer tonight. Like this may end up being something that I write because I like to fancy myself a writer, and I feel like I need to throw some more content in the blog portion of the SSWnetwork.com that I don't pay any attention to. But I love thinking about this as a thought exercise, and this is what we're going to talk about with the callers. So those of y'all that are watching, we're going to throw the link in the chat after this next break. Angry gets it. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear the same thing based on who you are in the real world. And that's what's fun about this, is looking at who you are in the real world, your values, the things that are important to you. Where would that put you in the Star Wars universe? Again, this isn't an ideal. We'd all like to be Han Solo and have, like Chris said, have lightsabers coming out of our fingers and all of that kind of
That's
stuff.
a thing,
but
right?
Oh, it has to be. I mean, there's a gun that shoots lightsabers, so why can't they come out of your fingers?
Universe, there's something for it.
Yeah. It's probably High Republic. I don't read that crap. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Oh my God, that's a joke. I'm going to get murdered.
You should back it up, pal. All right.
I forgot that you have controls tonight. You could kick me out if you wanted to.
That's only Mike Roker.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So as we look at it from that standpoint, like the thing I spent a lot of time thinking about was the whole, would I get sucked into the Empire? Because like I asked myself those questions, and we live in a world that is fractured. We live in a world where people have to make moral decisions and choices to stand up for minorities, people who are being treated less than.
Yeah.
I grew up, and this is, I've talked about this on the show before, but I grew up in Selma, Alabama. If you've paid any attention to history in the last 45 or 50 years, and when I graduated from high school, I moved to Montgomery, Alabama. These are the hearts of the civil rights movement, and so much of those attitudes and those prevailing things exist. But that's not something that I'm willing to tolerate. Like, I will stand up, and I've asked myself these questions before, and I hope most of us in a moment of reflection have asked themselves, if I was living in the civil rights 1960s and I was in Montgomery, I hope with every fiber of my being I would make the right choice. I can't ultimately know until I live there, until I was in it. But we see those moments now, whether it's standing up for our friends in SAG and WGA, whether it's standing up to, I've pissed off a lot of family members, to be perfectly honest, because I was not willing to subscribe to some of their very bad ideals or trains of thought. And I've called them out on it. But those are the decisions that I feel like
mega.
Yes, 100%.
Make the Empire great. Okay.
Yeah. Make the Empire great. I have some make the Empire great again family members, and I'm not willing to go there. Like that's where I draw lines. Like I'm, people being treated like people. So I hope that would be me in the Star Wars universe as well, is ultimately what I'm getting at.
Here. Let me ask you this question, and I already know the answer for mine. Do you think? And I guess it would come down to circumstance, like what happened. But do you think you would join the rebellion?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Now, here's the thing. As a dad, and as a husband, and as a father, or I guess a dad is a father, as a dad and a husband, as a father and a husband, I hope that that's the choice I would make. And I would hope that I would be the way we raise our girls to love everyone, to accept everyone, to recognize that everyone is who they were created to be. And so I hope that would just be, maybe I hope that I'm Shara Bay and, Kess and Poe, and like, we're all in this together. Like we're doing, this whole thing. And there's a way for me to serve the rebellion and stand up for a greater cause while, having my family and not having to choose, well, if I want to have a family, I have to fall in line with the shitheads or, whatever. I hope absolutely that I would be a part of the rebellion, that I would be willing to stand up for, what is right and stand up for something that I believe in. So I certainly hope that would be me. But that same thing, if I lived in the 60s in Montgomery, Alabama, I hope I would make that choice as well and stand up and march with Dr. King and, make the choices that were not popular and, could potentially be a threat to me and my well-being. But I can't ultimately know that unless I actually really live that situation. So it's easy to sit in a seat where I am and go, oh yeah, I would totally do that. Mm-hmm. That's what I hope. But until you're faced with that, it's really hard to ultimately know.
And that's where my answer it's I'm not sure. I know who I would be supporting, and I'd be supporting the alliance. Absolutely.
Sure.
But I am, and it may not show here. I don't know, but I am an anxiety-ridden human being. I have generalized anxiety disorder. I have panic attacks from time to time. Fear keeps me from things from time to time.
Sure.
I wonder if it would have to take something. It would have to take something horrible to happen that affected me, like if someone were to harm my mother,
right?
And by that I mean just like a stormtrooper walking by and shoulder checking her, and that's all he did, I'd probably join the rebellion and start killing stormtroopers. Like maybe, but it would have to take something like that or something just profound to happen for me to break through any fears or anything like that are going on in my head that would keep me back and join and fight.
Absolutely. Well, and it reminds me of like my wife grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. She went to the same private school, K through 12. She went to the University of Alabama. She moved back. And so she grew up certainly in a culture and an environment where there were a lot of, for lack of a better term, because this is the South, country boys and dudes that drove trucks and liked to get in fights on the weekend and that kind of stuff. And when we got together, she's the very first to admit, she was like, you're not the kind of guy I thought I would end up marrying. She said, I thought I'd end up marrying one of these country guys who was very stereotypical, goes hunting all winter, and I'm the woman that stays home and deals with the kids and the food. And like, that's not our deal. Like, I'm a nerd and we're a family and a team and we do stuff together and we support each other and we're equal, just all that kind of stuff. And so those questions come up when you're doing the things that couples and married folks do. And you ask, but what if this, what if that, what if whatever? And like, by my nature, I'm not a fighter. Like if I go out and have a drink, like I'm not walking in the room going, who can I beat the shit out of tonight? Like that's that's not a good time for me.
Yeah.
But there's also a line where if I need to defend someone, whether it's myself or my people or whatever, I'm prepared to do that. I may not succeed, but I'm prepared to do that. But I'm also not going to go out and get in a fight because it seems like fun or I think I need to prove something to someone else. I had friends that I hung out with when I first got out of college, and they were those guys, and they like to just go and get drunk and get in a fight at a bar, and we'd be out together, and I'd look at him every single time and go, if you start this, I don't have your back because you're an idiot. You started this. This isn't a real thing. And so I'd stand to the side and watch him, get himself into trouble that then he had to get himself out of. And so it does become that question of like, where are your values? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to stand up, defend, just like you said with your mom? It wouldn't take anything for me to defend one of my kids 100% or my wife or, whatever. And that's what a lot of the empire and the rebellion was. It was, small pockets of people standing up, not only for themselves, but for their neighbors that culminates, honestly, in that scene in Rise of Skywalker when all the ships show up. It's just people. We're here for each other. Like that's the community I seek. That's the person I hope that I am when pressed and put into a moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, listen, this has been an amazing conversation. We're not done, but we are going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit more, and we're going to throw the link in the chat. So we do want to, we do want to hear from you. We want to hear who would you be in Star Wars. We're going to get the regulars in here. If we've got some new folks that want to call in, we want to hear from all of you. So hang tight, and we'll be back in just a minute.
It's the Pizza Head Show. Hey, everybody! I just saw the Star Wars trilogy at the theater. Man, that was really... Hey, what's that? The Death Star is targeting us, Pizza Head, and Princess Steva says you're our only hope. Hey, he's no princess! Sure he is. And he says you'll be okay as long as you use the Force. Uh-oh, I don't want to go! Whoa, neato! Hey, why's that light blinking? Look out, Pizza Head, it's Darth Steve. Oh, boy!
Luke, Trust your feelings.
My name is Pizza Head.
Whatever. Use the force, piece of bread.
No, I can handle it. I'm hit! Get that Skywalker guy to do this. I'm going back to Pizza Hut where it's safe. See you next time. I don't think the Force was with me. Now you can collect one of 3 Star Wars posters when you buy a Pizza Hut Kids pack.
This is
Urge
me.
to watch Mr. Bill right now.
Yep. And this is me with my handy dandy Force Connect podcast notebook, making a note. Need to get on eBay, look for those Pizza Hut posters.
Yeah.
As a vintage art poster guy, add it to my list. Whew, I don't have a place to put all the ones I have, Chris. Why do I need more? Oh, wait, because they're there.
Yeah. Let's talk about my Star Wars t-shirt collection one day. We'll need a whole day for that one.
Exactly. Well, I think I texted this to you and Pete as we take a brief divergence into collectible things. I think I currently have 14 vintage Star Wars posters and pieces of artwork that are currently all in tubes sitting on the floor right behind me. They need a place to live, and I don't have any more wall space, as is clear. So I really need one of those. I found a giant, 41 by 28 portfolio deal with pages that I can put them all in and keep them flat, and I can just drag it out. So that's on deck. But there's other things out there that I'm going to keep adding to. It's just the way it works. So maybe Silver from Star Wars Thrifting has those Pizza Hut posters. Odds are she does. Hey, but we're back, and it's Force Connect, and it's Friday night, and we are talking about who are you in Star Wars, based on your real world self, based on who you are now. Angry. Don't tell me things like that. Speaking of bad decisions that I don't need to make right now.
It's eBay. You can haggle.
That's right. If I will,
maybe
I told this
to
somebody the other day. Actually, I was telling my kid this. I'm the most patient person in the world when it comes to eBay and the make offer button. I will wait somebody out. I will watch for it to be there a long time. I don't need it I want it. I don't need it that bad. I'll wait. I'll lay in the weeds until finally they give in to my offer. But who are you in Star Wars? I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now, and we're going to keep talking. And in a few minutes, we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear, who are you in Star Wars based on who you are right now, real life? What does that translate into? I don't think I really ultimately landed on an answer for me.
No, I think that's going to be an evolving thing,
For sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I'd like to live on Alderaan, good lakes, good mountains, or Alderaan Part 2 or Alderaan alternate universe, however that's going to work.
I guess when would you be living?
Well, I know when I don't want to be living on Alderaan.
Nick's like, hey, I want to live on Alderaan, or maybe Jeddah, or maybe just maybe.
I'm going to have a heart out.
Yeah,
I'm going to have a heart out when it comes to some of these planets, but
yeah,
I'm sure there's somebody out there that could tell me what was. I feel like Dantooine might have been.
That's all kinds of nature. Oh yeah,
I feel like there could be my kind of nature on there.
Yeah, not during the Old Republic though. Not during.
Well, true.
Things are calf hounds.
Well,
like that.
At this point, do we want to go ahead and grab a caller? We've got one ready to go.
Yeah,
we want to hear who he is.
Yeah.
All right. Let me find this because Pete usually does all this good stuff. Oh, yep. We got a couple callers ready to go. All right. Let's do this.
They're both tall.
Hello there.
There he is. Angry Tasty Cakes, the man, the myth, the legend. Off to new adventures of his own in his life right now.
As soon as you said you've had a work
sir?
fire, I was like, I feel that.
Yep.
I feel it.
It's the way it goes. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Yeah, I feel at peace.
Excellent.
And I feel great.
We did.
Beard's coming in
very much.
Yeah,
Beard's coming in nice. I like it.
I gotta get rid of this underneath.
Yep.
But other than
It's all
that, yeah,
part
no,
of it.
I'm good. I'm feeling great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, it's always good to see you. And tell us who you would be in Star Wars. Tell us based on this conversation, based on kind of the metrics that Chris threw at us. What do you got for us? Who would you be?
It's actually funny that Chris brought up a shop owner, because in the Skywalker Saga, the Lego game, you actually get to explore like shops, stalls, restaurants, and that's something we never really get in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool, and that did inspire me. But then I got to thinking about it, and I'm gonna have to go with Rebellion Pilot.
Nice.
I would have to. Seeing Star Wars for the first time, seeing Luke behind that X-wing, I was like, nah, I got to do that. And some people were always like, well, what about an X-wing or an A-wing? And I was like, hell no. You make one little wrong move on that stick, you're spinning into the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Right. No, I want the one that's going to keep me alive the longest. So yeah, I'd have to go with the Rebellion Pilot. Because like you, I can't sit back and watch nasty stuff. Like I just can't do it. Like I have to say something. And that's getting me in trouble at work quite a bit, because I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and have you be a misogynistic ass. You know what I'm saying? Like I will say something. And I think that really speaks to the fact that I stand by the rebellion too. Like I can't just sit idly by. So being on the ground, no, I wouldn't want to be a rebel trooper. That's for sure. No, I want to be up in the air where it's kind of safer-ish. Maybe.
Love that.
Yeah.
Where you from?
Chandrilla, I think. I think I'd be from Chandrilla.
Oh, nice.
I like their aesthetic. That's very like Asian inspired aesthetic. And I've always liked that look. So I think I'd be from Chandrilla. I don't know if I'd want to be force sensitive though. I feel like that's kind of overdone. I like the idea of an everyman kind of standing up for what's right. Kind of like in Andor. I think that's why I like that show so much. It's just the everyman standing up for what's right. No Force, no Jedi, none of that, you know. And Skarsgård monologue, that really really hit home for me, because like if I was in that position, it's all in. I'd be like, nah, I would give my life to make sure someone else can live theirs. So,
and I love, that line, I give my president for a future I won't see, or whatever it is. That's not the exact line, but that hits me the same way the Yoda line does in Last Jedi about Padawans and masters. Because that's me as a parent. Like I'm planting seeds now for something that, yes, I hope I get to grow old and see my kids grow up and all that kind of stuff. But like, I hope I'm also planting seeds for something farther down the line that makes the world better than it is right now.
Yeah. And that's, man, it's just the philosophical quandaries that the movie and that show really gave us. Like, are we doomed to not pass our knowledge along, or how is this going to work? And I don't know. I think that's why I want to be in the rebellion, because I want to make sure it does get passed along.
I love that.
So
excellent.
Yeah,
totally works. Works. Well, very good. Well, thank you for calling in this evening, my friend. It's always good to see you. I'm glad that the week that you have had has translated into feeling light, feeling better, feeling good, and I hope that the Force guides you as you move into this next path.
No anxiety for the first time in 6 months. I feel great.
Outstanding.
Oh yeah,
outstanding. So, well, let's keep riding it, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
All right,
awesome. See you, buddy.
See ya.
Dig that guy.
Yeah.
Always good when he calls in. Well, we have lots of callers hanging out in the background, so this is exciting. We're going to keep it going, so let's hit another one and keep moving.
Let's do it.
And who might you be?
There he is. The tallest man on Force Connect.
That's right. My tallest friend.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Good to see you. I have to say, and it made me laugh while that was going on in the comments earlier, one of my favorite pictures from Celebration in Anaheim is the picture of me, JD, and Chris, and we look like the cell phone bars just stepping our way on down. Because JD's 6'6", I'm 6 feet tall, and Chris is not as tall as I am.
5'7".
So,
Nope.
you know,
I've been in pictures with people where they cut the top of my head off because they can't get the shortest guy and the tallest guy in there at the same time.
Yeah, you got to make it work. Got to move farther back to make that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
JD, before you begin, I'm going to add something to yours. And I know I asked, what world you're from, that sort of thing, or where you're living. What species would you be? Add that to it as well.
Outstanding.
As tall as I am and as big a guy as I am, I'd say I'd almost be like Devronian. If I'm saying that right?
I could dig that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Because I can have a
big
bit of a
dude
temper.
that was in Mando on the prison ship episode.
Yeah, the guy, the kind of devil-looking guys. Yeah, I believe I'm saying that right, Devronian.
Yeah, Devronian.
Yeah, I think I would be one of those guys because I have times where I've been a part of or seen things that have happened in my life, and I'm very worried about losing my temper on different things, and they kind of fall in line with some of the stuff that you guys have been talking about, injustices and things like that. But I always try to handle them with a cooler head and things like that. So I just hope and pray I don't fall to the dark side. And, there's been a couple of times where I've almost been in fist fights over stuff. So.
Totally happens. Yeah. Well, what else do you think, other than the species? Who do you think you are? Where do you land in Star Wars?
All right, I've always, since I've been a kid, history and things like that, and like the stories and the tales of even the knights of old, the old, Arthurian knights and legends and stuff like that. I've always loved that. And then when Star Wars came along, it was like, wow, now it's a one of those knights in armor, but they've got a big shiny blade and blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. And like the samurai and how they were devoted to different things. I still think that even though I know it's kind of, you guys are saying you wanted to step away from that, but I was in the military as a police officer. I have a degree as in law enforcement and emergency medicine. I was also a state highway patrolman for a while here in Kansas. Oh, wow. And so I think if I had the opportunity, the only reason I'm not anymore is because I had family commitments, and then a buddy of mine talked me into doing something different, which ended up making me more money, which made, all this possible. So, so, I mean, I stuck with the career I have now, which is I'm a foreman for a power line crew. And, but my heart has always been with law enforcement, has always been with trying to be more about justice and more about helping people in their time of need and things like that.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that I could follow like every edict and law or regulation that the Jedi would fall down, that would give. But in the EU, if you look at some of the descriptions of the Jedi, they always had wandering Jedi. They always had ones that wander around, and they'd always go place to place and seek out injustices or seek out knowledge or seek out different things. Right. I think I would do more of that, because I wouldn't want to be under the thumb of the council, but I would still want to follow those, creeds of truth and justice. And the tenets of the creed. So I think honestly I would do that. I even if I couldn't be a full-fledged Jedi, I would still study the wonders of the Force and try to use it for good if I could, if I was able to.
Absolutely.
If I was able to do so.
I also feel some threads of Cobb Vanth in there. Some, somebody finding a place, looking out for some folks, taking on a role as a peacekeeper, lawman, that kind of thing. I could see that fall into that category.
I've always wondered why Star Wars never came up with like a good guy, force-sensitive gunfighter. A guy that was just a master of pistols, and he was just a badass gunfighter. You know what I mean?
Bro.
I mean, even though he's go beyond the Mandalorian and just go to like a Han Solo or that kind of that kind of dude, but sensitive with with blasters or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that could happen. We can't talk about it though, but it's possible that could happen in the next couple of weeks. We can't talk. Yep.
No doubt. Well, while we've still got you here, and because I was able to pull the trigger quick enough on this, I feel like it's important to just go ahead and put up what we're talking about here.
I'm like, look at me. I'm surrounded by trees.
Exactly. JD's magnificent beard, the Jedi robes, like every bit of it. And I had known who JD was because of the shows and being in the chats and all that kind of stuff. And when I walked in and he was like, "Hey, I'm JD," I was like, "Hello." Like, I mean, again, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm not that short, but I am when I stand next to JD. So I'm glad I could drag that in here real quick. But again,
I got
Jedi
two caveats with that picture. One, no, I never played basketball. I did not play. Everybody asked me, "Did I play basketball?" No, I did not play basketball. Two, I don't miss that beard.
Oh,
I really don't. There was too much work to try to get that thing.
It's a lot.
To not look like a homeless guy. That is a lot of work. I'm just saying.
Well, you're still representing the bearded folk really well even now. So keep up the good work. And Angry's getting his back in shape. Everybody. He was talking about the neck. I had to do the same thing, trim up the neck the other day. But it's always good to see you, my friend. It's always good to hang out. It's always good to hear from you. Thanks for popping in and sharing what's going on, and I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope that we will probably see you again next week.
Yes, great to see you guys. You guys have a great night.
Awesome.
You too,
see you, buddy. Again, the quality of callers that come to this show, every one of them is a home run.
Yeah.
Single time.
Absolutely. And I love that everyone's stories are different, which would make sense. I mean, that would just make up this whole world or this whole galaxy and whatnot. Some who are ready to go in, some who are ready, just cocksure and ready to go into to the rebellion. Some like me who I would need to be pushed into it. I would support it, but I would need to be pushed into it, and it would take something monumental to for me to just turn off the care, turn off the fear, and just run in and do what needs to be done. Do you want to bring in?
Well, let's do this.
The next? Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We've got more callers hanging out in the background. We're getting to every one of you.
Yeah.
So hang tight with us. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to do some more of this because this is a bunch of fun. So we will be right back on Force Connect.
R2? Where are you? R2? R2? R2, you're on fire! R2-D2, you found a cigarette. Well, I don't think smoking is grown up at all. Because it's very dangerous. Smoking does dreadful things to your lungs and is very bad for your heart. Well, I know I don't have one, but humans do, and I think we should set a good example. Well done, R2. Oh, hello. You know smoking is bad for your health, and it isn't grown up at all. So please, don't smoke. R2, do you really think I don't have a heart?
It kills me every time.
Yeah.
Every time. I made that stupid video and it makes me laugh every time because
Let that poor droid have a drag.
For years, my profile picture on everything was C-3PO having a cigarette lit in his mouth on set in 1977 or 76.
Probably.
God knows Anthony Daniels deserved every cigarette he got in 1976 stuffed inside that metal costume.
In the desert.
When I found that vintage commercial, there was only one way to end it, and that was the way to do it.
Right.
Well, we are back on Force Connect, and we are talking about Chris's topic, which is who are you in Star Wars? If you take who you are in real life, who you are right now, and we just translated that over to the Star Wars universe, who would you be? And that's the conversation we're having tonight. We've had amazing callers so far, and we have more callers on deck. So, Chris, if you are ready, let's keep it going.
Let's do it.
Greetings, Exalted One.
The Zillow man entered the call, Ripken.
the Zillow man has answered the call. The new streak is in place. And Eric, I'm going to go ahead and apologize, and I'm going to atone for it by putting it on Twitter after we get done tonight. my Zillow sticker came in the mail today, and I forgot to bring it out here. It's inside the house, sitting on the kitchen counter. So if you haven't checked out Eric's Zillow Ray t-shirts and stickers and all that good stuff, you need to grab one. I've added it to my sticker. Yes, Chopper definitely going full Tony Montana. Eric, how are you, my friend? It's so good to see you.
Not that bad. Has been busy past couple of days. A lot to get into, so I won't get into it now.
That's all right. Not a problem. It's always good to see your face. It's always good to hang out with you. So let's dive into the topic. Who would you be in Star Wars if we take Eric and translate him now over to that galaxy far, far away?
Well, I was thinking about the concept of like, what happens if it's during the days of the Empire. I'm just like, well, if that's the case, I'm not going to serve on any side. And the big part of that is that I'm scared shitless about dying.
Sure.
And I was also thinking about it in I was thinking about it in a metaphor of like, okay, well, I live in a form of an empire, and I don't serve any form of military. I'm very conscious about industrial complex, in any nation. So in that case, I'm going to be an artist like I am, but I'm going to be a painter on Naboo.
Okay.
And I want to use my art and my platform, if I'm Nabooan citizen indeed, to fight for reparations and land back for Gungans.
Okay. There we go. That's what's up.
It's not taking on the big machine of the time period, but I'm doing just a little bit to help out,
your part.
People that deserve
when
it.
you get down to it, you get into that phrase that we've all heard for a million years, all politics are local. You may not have that grander empire scale, but that matters to those Gungans that live on that planet. Like there's a local impact that affects real lives. So that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, they are displaced, colonized people, and they deserve way more than what they've been given. It's just like, oh, we'll just push them off to the side, and we'll just do our thing here and involve them in nothing. Like that's absurd. And it's not like there's no real life parallels to that.
No, we are not living proof of that. No. I was wondering if you were going to be like part, Zillow.
No. I thought about stupid answers like, oh, I'm going to be, the pupil underneath Pershing, and we're going to figure out what the Zillow thing is going on. Or it's going to be like a really dumb question answer, just like, oh, I'm going to be the husband of this hot character. But no, I'm not going to do that.
I like it. Well, I have to say, your commitment to the Zillow storyline at this point is one of my favorite things in all of Star Wars. Like, we have to keep that going. We have to keep that alive. It's just fantastic.
Yeah. The Mutt Snoke thing, that's just a joke. Zillow, that's part of the story.
That's real.
That's right.
Zillow's a real one. Nice. Shay Gatsby says, I would definitely be a Han or Jyn Erso character, just trying to survive until I'm put into a corner and have to claw out and choose a side. That's real too. There's some real heart and emotion in that, because we want to believe where we are, but until we're pushed to it. And that's kind of what I was even trying to get at, earlier on, is I hope that this is who I am, but until I'm really in that situation, I may not know. So
exactly.
Very real. Very cool.
Eric, I'm glad you had me. Anyone that's interested, watch Honest Cloud. I had Jerry from Bob Badcast, my past episode.
I still owe you. I haven't forgotten about you. We had a schedule connection a couple weeks back, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can.
It may have to wait because I'm going to be moving soon. So
that's okay. I've got to go deal with Dragon Con and work next week, so we both have some crap going on.
Totally. When I'm available, I'll let you know.
Awesome. You have your people call my people. We'll be good. Eric, it's always good to see you, my friend. Have a great night, and we'll see you again soon.
All right.
I mean, every one of them gets better, more ideas, more thoughts.
Absolutely.
That we were going to.
I am a huge fan of this Star Wars universe. You know, these are the characters I want to see. Like Nick, I may have told you this before, but you know, I'll watch a Star Wars movie or show or whatever, and I will look past all the main characters, and I'll just like pause it. I'm like, I want to know that guy's just some random schmuck just walking down the street. Like, I want to know it. What's his story? What's he got? Oh, I need a whole comic book on that. You know, something. I'm weird. So yeah, but everyone's got a story, and you know, everyone's
that's
got a
what's great
story
about it, and
I
that's
love it.
why, honestly, and if we dial it back to, you know, we've had a million conversations about why do we love Star Wars? Why does this franchise survive for 45 years? These are exactly the reasons why, because everybody looks at Star Wars and everybody sees that's who I could be. That's where I come from. Pete says it all the time. The different windows and doors into Star Wars. My entry is not your entry, is not, you know, Pete's son's entry. Like, we all have a different way to come into it. And we all see ourselves in different places, different characters, different vibes. Chris, you think that's fun, but they talk about sports ball on that show. So you're going to be out immediately. Yeah.
Or any of them Cowboys fans at all? Or is it just me?
I don't know. We'll have to let Jeff sort you out on that one later. But in the meantime, that's right. We have a couple of other callers hanging out.
I just lost a couple of friends.
And before we get to our next caller, I'm going to drop the link in the chat one more time. So if you're watching, if you want to call in, tell us who you think you'd be in the Star Wars universe, galaxy, whatever. Now multiple galaxies, I've heard, rumored. Hit that link, jump in, join us. But in the meantime, I'm going to hit this button. We're going to get another caller in here, and I'll drop that link in the chat. So let's do it.
Oh, thank the Force! Come here, you little womp rat!
Starting to have his own consecutive weeks in a row streak. Eric Brown back in the house. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, bro. How's it going?
Excellent.
I'm good.
So who am I? As much as I would love to be Luke Skywalker or Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon, that just simply ain't happening. I'm too, uninteresting to be like that. Right? I've always seen myself as like not wanting to be. I've always been like the sidekick guy. I've always been like a Chewbacca to someone else's Han Solo, but taking into account what I do for a living, I would realistically be in some like R&D kind of role. I'd be like a Krennic type person, not a sinister like element, but I would be probably like working on some like new tech or ideally like a starship or star cruiser kind of corporation. And I would be sick and tired of all of my work going unnoticed and like someone else getting the limelight, that I would probably like hook up with the Alliance and end up being like an engineer. Like I wouldn't be a pilot. I wouldn't be a foot soldier. I'd probably be like, the captain's like right-hand man. Right.
Nice.
Like I think I'd probably be like that. The guy who like knows the ins and outs of everything. Yeah.
Okay. Chaco said you'd be the Mon Cal who created the B-Wing.
Corey. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And Brian says the sidekick is a vital character. I wholeheartedly agree.
That's right.
As you were saying that, and of course there are some other problematic historical things, but as you were saying, being in this position, trading out, Werner von Braun popped into mind, working in Germany, eventually ending up here, rocket program, that kind of thing. Again, stuff. Yeah, there's some problematic stuff there, but and ultimately we did end up in the moon. So, mix of both. But yeah, I like that. And I like this is what's fun about this. And Chris, I'll be fully transparent. Coming into this, I was going, I don't know if my answer is very good. And I still don't think my answer is very good, but the answers that everybody else has given me so much more to think about as we progress through this. And like you said, like this is the Star Wars universe that I would want to be in. Every person that's come on and said, I'd be this person, I'd be that person. I'm going, yeah, like these are my people, which makes sense because we all hang out on Friday nights and do this silly show. But like that would be a galaxy that I would want to be a part of, and I would want to be connected to these other people willing to put themselves out there for the good of somebody else, to help their neighbor, to help their friend. Like, there's a lot of power in this that I didn't see coming into this conversation tonight.
And truth be told, these are the stories that I would love to be able to read or see, like in any form, in any medium. Like I said, I would pause a shot and be like, I want to see what that guy's story like. I want so much for a slice of life Star Wars story. There doesn't need to be action or anything like that. Right. Just like a slice of life story. I would love that. Oh, I would love that.
You know what?
I'm loving these stories.
You know what just came to mind was and this is more of like a Marvel reference, and I promise you, just based on what's here, I'm a much bigger Star Wars fan. This just happens to be where my desk is, but in any case, like taking it to the MCU, I'd probably be like the Phil Coulson to the
nice.
I'd be the guy fanboying to like Chewie, Han, Luke, and Leia, try to get like knickknacks and memorabilia and whatnot. Yeah, I'd be that guy.
I love it.
And what era would it, like, you being an engineer, like, what would you be in the Imperial era? Like, would you be working for the Empire and then maybe like leave or like one of the other like corporations, like that?
Yeah, probably just one of the engineering corporations, you name it. I don't know. I probably come from some industrial planet or like Corellia or
Fondor.
Something like that. Fondor, probably like, but I'm not like the guy like doing the work. I'm the guy like the designing stuff, and making stuff happen. So I'd probably be in some like boring ass cubicle like Cassian.
God, I'm already I'd be so hyped for that story. God, I want that in the comic book form right now. I want it all.
Well, and I thought about that earlier. It's funny that you bring up Andor and being careful not to get too much into talking about struck work and that kind of stuff. But the big dude, Cassian's friend on Ferrix, that's who I think JD also could be. I can't.
Oh, the hammer guy.
Yeah, no. The his buddy.
Oh, Brasso.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking the guy with the hammers.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, Eric, it's always fantastic to see you. Yeah. I'm looking forward. I've continued to look forward to seeing you each week since I got back from being gone. And you're joining the club with the streaks between the other Eric and Angry. Like we're gonna have a race for who's gonna hang out the longest. So
nice.
Good to see you. Nice. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you again soon.
Cheers. Bye.
All right, we've got another caller on deck, and I'm excited to hear what this caller has to say because this person is a deep thinker. He's a lore person. Like he knows all the answers to things that I forget the names of. This is going to be a good answer. So I'm going to go ahead and hit another video, and we're going to get him in here.
Let's do it.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
You have a collect call from
Darth Vader.
I gotta take this. Hold on.
The one and only Darth Chaco is in the house. How are you,
man?
I'm doing all right. I started a new job. I've been training for the past couple weeks, and it's been melting my brain. So,
well, hopefully our nonsense tonight has given you a little bit of a vacation, a little bit of a chance to chill and relax and think about something silly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you were like, oh, he's gonna have a good answer. The first thing I thought of is like I'd be Bix's footstool.
I mean, who's gonna argue? Cheers.
But Come on. No,
I love my life.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when I thought about it though, like knowing myself and kind of like my history, because when I was young and I was actually a pretty angry kid. I'm shaking my desk a lot, and I had to learn how to like how to channel that and realize the cause of the things that make me angry and then fight against those. So I would definitely be aligned with the rebellion, which means I would probably die pretty early on. I have no compulsion about that, but I actually think I would be a rebel spy / recruiter. So I am I'm also a musician. I've been in a few bands where we've gone and played all over the place, and I just think it'd be really cool to have also my species, I'd be a basilisk, because
nice.
I love my dude Dexter Jetster, and being a musician, having an extra set of hands would be damn useful.
Winner, that's right.
What do you play? Drums?
Yeah, I played mostly drums, but some guitar, some bass, and all the stuff.
All at the same time.
I would.
I was saying, 4 arms, he can do whatever he wants.
But I would love to see a story where you have someone who is a musician who uses that to smuggle things, to meet rebel. You're going to Nar Shaddaa tonight. You're going to go play at Jabba's palace like the next day, and depending on the type of music, it might be the right place where you have younger rebellious kids showing up, so you can kind of talk to them. You can connect these people. If contraband needs to be moved for the rebellion, you know what? I'll book a show over there. We'll just put that in my guitar case, not worry about it. You know what I mean? And yes, this was partially motivated by me imagining Chopper just like spin around with his little arm swinging dime bags and stuff. But yeah, that's who I think I would be.
Well, it totally has vibes of the Spy Dancer from Vision Season 2, which was the French. Like, that's based on Mata Hari, which was, I think World War I, the French madam who was a spy and, had that same thing, had an entertainment, but was channeling folks through. Like, that's an excellent cover. That's a great, even a little bit of shade of Star Waver in there, a little bit of Vision Season 1. That's a good one, man. See, this is why we do this, because people are way smarter than me and they have better answers than I do. And I'm trying really hard not to notice that helmet that's over your shoulder back there. Is that the helmet that I think it is?
Which my
it looks a lot like it. Not Bo,
or my Snake Eyes.
Oh, is that
your Snake Eyes? Your Snake Eyes has Big Merrick vibes. That's all I'm trying to say.
I agree, and I wore it for a video before all the not making videos, but I think
nice.
Outstanding. Also, Chris, if you're into all the side stories, have you picked up Return of the Jedi from a certain point of view?
No, because I'm not special enough to get an early copy yet. But
it's out though, right?
Wait, is it?
I thought it's out Tuesday. I thought it was out this coming Tuesday.
It's probably this coming Tuesday, yeah. So
I
got my audio. Yeah,
never mind.
But like that's the one. That's the one I've been waiting for since the A New Hope one, because Jedi is my favorite. How is it so far?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I've had it for a couple weeks. It's fantastic. Dexter Jetster gets a full ass story in this, and that's
what's up.
Yeah,
that's outstanding. Yeah, I've got the other two back behind me.
Was that Adam's story?
Yes, that was Adam Lance Garcia, I think.
Yeah, I bumped into him this last week.
Awesome.
Yeah, good dude.
It's outstanding. Yeah, Chaco, always fantastic to see you, my friend. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah,
and
man.
For bringing a fantastic version of who you'd be in the Star Wars galaxy. I love that. Again, I'm going to go to bed tonight thinking about all these answers and kicking myself for going, why didn't I come up with something better than I'm a dad and I can fix crap and I drive good? Like, what are we talking about?
Still, these are Star Wars stories. I would Choco, let me ask you something, and Nick, just hang out for a second. How are you liking Dark Droid so far?
I've been too busy to jump into it. I haven't read it yet. But it's on the dock for this weekend. So I'll stop by next week and we'll
that's right. Get an update next week.
Let's talk.
Perfect. Love it. Awesome. Good to see you, my friend. We're gonna send you on your way.
We hope you have a great.
All right, bro.
Awesome. Good to see you.
fantastic stories all around. You know, like this is stuff that I want some kind of like, just like that Return of the Jedi book, some kind of anthology book with all the stories in there. Like I'm still waiting for the Jedi Survivor Tales from Pyloon's Saloon. I need that. I need all those patrons. That would be so dope. But yeah,
without a doubt,
loved everyone's story. I am surprised that that Eric, didn't make himself like at least like half Zillow.
That's right.
And just like smacking buildings and stuff.
That's his secret, Captain. He's always Zillow.
He's always Zillow.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I've said it multiple times tonight. Like this was, I wasn't sure. Again, I was uncertain of my answers. I was uncertain, how it was going to go. But the story, like everybody came in with these great stories and these great ideas. And it makes me think even more about refining my answer. And like I said, I'm probably going to hopefully end up writing about it at some point soon. So excellent job tonight. Tons and tons of fun. We're going to wrap this up. Before we get out of here, Chris, Bro Axiom, what do y'all have going on this week? Is there anything? I know there's comics coming out, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. This Sunday we have a new Shooting the Poodoo episode. I'm pretty sure they're going to be talking about stuff. I can say that. They're going to be talking about Ahsoka probably.
Right.
So they're going to be doing that. BX Gaming, Bro Axiom Gaming has been moved to Wednesdays because of,
Ahsoka. Yeah.
Ahsoka. Okay. Oh, I can say it. All right.
That's
so
right. It's not quite he who should not be named.
Right. They haven't Voldemorted it all yet. And then also between Monday and Tuesday, probably Monday, I'll be putting out the new Quick Shot, a Star Wars comics preview for I think it's Bounty Hunters number 37. I love this. I love every Star Wars comic, but I have Bounty Hunters has a special place in my heart, and Ethan Sachs. Oh, him and Paolo Vianelli are like I love that team of writer and artist, and I love what they have done with 4LOM and Zuckuss, especially Bosk, and now Nightstick and Dirge are on the team, and a couple others, and they're working with Fett right now too. It's so good. I'd love seeing this underworld and exploring these parts of the galaxy that we don't get to see unless it's like an RPG or something like that. Tabletop. So yeah. I'm loving it.
Outstanding. Well, I don't want to overinflate what I'm doing because I'm still woefully, dreadfully, horribly behind. But I have continued to work my way with the gratitude of some of the stuff you've sent me, as well as Eric, exactly. Chris listens, and also the benevolence of some other friends of ours. I am reading some more of the Star Wars comics. I'm continuing to work my way through the Darth Vader series. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not, and again, this has never been about the fact that I didn't think I would like comic books. Right. It's just simply been accessibility and energy and effort and me being a little bit lazy, that kind of thing. So continuing to read Darth Vader
right now.
It's super early, like third or fourth issue. But like,
you're reading Kieran Gillen's, right?
Yes, went to the old apartment. Breaks in there. The it's not Sabe, is it? It's the whichever one, the Queen's Guard that shows up that is not Padme, but
Sabe.
Is it is Sabe? Okay. So still early on, but I think that's right. Somebody's gonna actually us.
To make sure you are reading the Kieran Gillen one. It's been years since
the 2015 one. Is that the one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
that's what I'm reading.
Okay.
So good stuff. Enjoying it. Comic books. You should do that because I'm doing it, and if I can do it, anybody can do it because I'm an idiot.
Great Star Wars stories. You guys are missing out for the ones who are reading them. Great Star Wars.
That's right. You're missing out.
You want that Darth Vader Disney Plus series? It's in the comics. Trust me.
It's in the comics. Exactly. Buttercream Dream said it himself. All these stories that people say they want, they're in the comics. Around the Galaxy, we just dropped yesterday a fantastic conversation with Daniel Jose Older and his beautiful wife, Miss Brittany N. Williams. You certainly know Daniel from the Last Shot Han Solo Lando book, tons of High Republic stuff, comic books. Brittany wrote in the Empire Strikes Back certain point of view, the L337 story. She's got a new book has come out called That Self-Same Metal. Fun conversation with them about being writers, about being content creators, certainly as husband and wife. And they have a new podcast out called The Ink Bottle, which I can't recommend enough. It's really fun. It's the two of them talking about being writers and being married and what that means and how those, worlds intertwine. So check that out. We do have some other interviews scheduled and coming up. Things are a little bit slow right now because, as we mentioned at the top of the show, with the strikes going on, it's a little bit more difficult to get on actors and writers and folks because we want to be able to talk about what they do, but we don't want to do it in a time where it would cause them to cross picket lines and create issues. So we've got some stuff in the works. We've got some stuff that hopefully we will do in the meantime, but check that out. And of course, you can always go back and check out the back catalog of Around the Galaxy. There's tons and tons of shows there that we would love for you to investigate and read and all of that good stuff. So, Chris, I think at this point, we've done about all we can do tonight. I think so. Show.
I think
we missed Pete. Pete, we hope you're enjoying the Ghost concert that you're at right now. You deserve it after spending a week hanging out in a cow barn at 4-H camp all week. So, Pete Fletzer, International Man of Mystery.
I think
PR
that's
executive,
Pete and
podcaster, farmer, heavy metal fan. Like, what doesn't this guy do?
Yeah. I think Pete would be at the concert of whoever that Huttese punk band song that played during the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Crap. But yes.
Hanging out.
He'd love
Awesome.
That's it.
We're going to wrap it up. We're going to have a great time. Thank you, everyone in the live chat, for hanging out with us. And if you are listening to us on the audio replay, thank you for listening to us in your audio feed. We love hanging out with you. Again, be sure to check out the sswnetwork.com for all the different things that we do. And we will be back again next week. And in the meantime, Chris, may the force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.